the Grandtag podcast, Conversations on Wealth and Legacy. Welcome back to the Grandtag podcast, Conversations on Wealth and Legacy. In part 1, we talked about how families across generations can open up about wealth. Today, we're exploring a different kind of family dynamic, modern and blended families. Divorce, remarriage, stepchildren. These are real stories in modern wealth planning, and they can make legacy conversations even trickier. Now, when families change structure, maybe even after a divorce or remarriage, how does that usually affect wealth planning?
Well, I think firstly, we going through a divorce is is a very strenuous process. We first need to consider the outgoing and the incoming members of the new family unit, right? Because oftentimes, of course, as as advisors, we hope to just plan for one family and that's it. But unfortunately, it's not the case for a family going through divorce because we are now looking at 4 families potentially. Right. Just like 4 wheels of a car, right? The bolts and the axles need to be well oiled in order for the car to actually start moving and going the distance. So when it comes to planning for a divorce, right? Of course, nobody plans for divorce, but what if it happens? Is what we usually take the approach is the mindset has to be we put values above valuables. What do I mean by that? What do we mean by that? Valuables is something is financial, is tangible, right? Those can be distributed, those can be given to whoever they wish to give to, right? But however, the values, right, it cannot be divided, right? So it's important for us to structure a plan that is built on fairness, right? And it can achieve the value system that is shared amongst the outgoing and the incoming members in order to achieve the desired outcome, right, for the legacy planning beyond such a significant life event.
Yeah, that's so true, no? I never thought of it that way. But that's a very enlightening thing that we should be considering as well. Of course, nobody plans for divorce, but in the event of, these are the things that kick in as well in terms of what needs to be thought about very carefully. Yeah. Peter?
Well, I think that some clients have already existing programs and already placed in nominations, maybe from the first marriage. And now that he is into a second marriage, is he going to make any changes to existing? Is there consideration for a new program to nominate beneficiaries that is of his current marriage? So a lot of this discussion will start coming out as we sit down with the client and talk about beneficiary nominations. Those are quite emotional sometimes. Hard questions are being asked because I have to ask him about who exactly would you want to put in that nomination, because we need to have the nominee's passport, contact details, and things like that. It's not just put a name. We need all those details. Therefore, the client need to think through a little bit more. Yeah. So I guess those are the times that really help them to have clarity. First marriage, second marriage, okay, or even I came across a situation where it's quite funny. I was doing a policy for the client, and when we went to the stage of nomination, so he was like hesitant. He's like, Then suddenly he came out and asked the question, I want to give this to my partner. He's a doctor. He want to give it to his male partner that's living with him. So he asked me, can it be done? I said, yes. In insurance nomination, you can nominate your partner. So that's very interesting. I mean, before that, it didn't came out at all in the whole discussions about the plan, about getting the program in place, the money is for him. Then when it came to the nomination, that came out. Suddenly I got to professionally just manage the situation, understand and explain to him what's the impact.
Interesting.
So very,
So there are practical and emotional layers
Yes.
in whatever situation, especially for divorce. So, divorce, of course, we know makes it a lot more difficult. But putting a policy in place in the event of, like, for example, what if one party refuses to cooperate or the relationship ends mid process? It's very messy.
It is extremely messy. I think on multiple levels. First of all, both parties will be going through a very stressful situation, a very stressful period, right? I think for us as advisors, what we want to bring about is bring about calmness and sanity
Right.
to both opposing parties, right? Again, we want to facilitate communication, right? But also understanding the weights of the stressful situation which they are going through, right? Be it the legal aspects of it or the financial aspects of it. Of course, for the financial aspects of it, how we can deal with bringing the sanity is we also look at both parties, their individual needs, their desires, their wants, and we want to bring about a mutually agreed agreed conclusion by crafting solutions that can achieve that. Just like out in the sea, turbulent, choppy waters, right? We being the captain, given the task as captain, we need to set the course and try to steer the ship to a neutrality, bring it to shore so that everyone can disembark peacefully.
I see. So, what about remarriage, Peter? What if children from the first marriage are not close to the parents who come into the family? How do you plan fairly without deepening the emotional divide?
I think definitely there is an existing tension already because, like you mentioned, the first and the second is not really communicating. But of course, as the parent, they want to make sure that there's some allocation to first and the children of the second marriage. So if we just arrange it like a will, for example, then it is only on the passing, then it pays out, right? And sometimes wills may not be crafted sufficiently.
Yes.
I came across a client who says, "Oh, anything happen, my estate would be distributed to my children." But the fact is that adopted children, stepchildren, are not part of his biological children,
Right.
right? So that may not be covered if it's just the word, leave my money to my children. So some things need to be clear. Putting a name very specifically given to who is important. So therefore, in a policy itself, we need to specify. And that makes it very clear to the client. You have to specify this is for so-and-so, this is for first marriage. Or this is for so-and-so, second marriage, very specifically. So I think that helped a lot in clarity.
I see.
Yeah. I also want to elaborate this important point. Actually, in insurance program, nomination is just one way of transfer. The evolvement of the marketplace has changed so rapidly recently. There's such thing as contingent owner. So if I take a program, I can nominate a contingent owner. In case I pass away, it goes to my contingent owner, right? During my lifetime, I can also say that I want to split the program into my two children so that they can take over and carry on with the program. I can change the policy ownership to the person that I want to, right? I can change the policy insured person. So such are really developments in the marketplace. Very often insurance policy, when I pass away, pay to my beneficiary. That's about it, right?
Not so simple.
Yeah, so now it is beyond this conversation, just beyond just passing away. You can do many arrangements while you are alive. So it gives the client a lot more flexibility of what he wants to do in his transfer.
Absolutely.
Not only upon death, before that he can make all this arrangement. And in some cases, it is tax driven because a gifting may have lesser tax or may have different implications. Rather than wait upon death, Now you start doing the transfer.
I see. So, with all that being said, I imagine this is where Grandtag comes in, right? All these modern solutions that can address very, very complicated issues.
Yes.
We come in almost like a bridge between different sides of the family.
Exactly. I think for us at Grandtag, we do not just build a bridge. We reinforce that steel bridge into a bulletproof vest.
Wow.
Right? We want to ensure that the solutions that we have is able to adapt to different situations to allow the clients be going through very significant detrimental or stressful events like divorce or remarriages or second family or adopted family, as what Peter has mentioned.
Modern family.
Modern
Yeah.
families, as we call it, to be able to cater to all the needs as life moves on, right? Because the solutions in the past probably only addresses one need, but today our approach is multifaceted. So we want to make sure that the solutions that we have at Grandtag can have a little bit of something similar to with a little bit of a trust feature, right?
Yeah.
Build in some contingency, beneficiaries, and then multiple caterings of different beneficiaries, right? And at the same time, adding a little bit of fairy dust to it,
Right.
with a bit of asset protection as well, because that's the essentials of wealth preservation and legacy planning.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's no cookie cutter solution, right, Peter? Because now people are not like before. They don't just stay put in one place.
Yeah.
People are getting global citizens.
Exactly. So this is the real issues now, because the younger generation start studying overseas, and they like to the lifestyle. They start settling down in UK, in Australia, in US, where all these jurisdictions are very high tax jurisdiction. While the parent is in Singapore or Malaysia, okay, the parent thinks that, oh, don't worry, in the Asian context, there's not much tax, while transferring upon death. But the effect is the person receiving is not living in Malaysia, right? It's not living in Singapore. The person receiving the asset is living in Australia or UK, where there is implication of capital gain tax.
Yeah.
There's implication of subsequent estate taxes. So then the planning comes different again. So it's not just a one size fits all. You're not just putting a name, they get it. But now you need to consider the implication of possible taxation and the impact to his estate.
And from you guys, your experience, what's one thing families shouldn't do in this situation? Because, to make it more relatable to our audience. Any key takeaways?
I think I draw my experience from one side of a high net worth family that's actually going through a messy divorce. When I came into that situation, when they expressed the situation, right, is actually the eldest son of the family of this client of mine that is actually going through the divorce. So the conversations revolving with the parents is how do they ensure that their wealth or the family fortunes or family business do not get into the hands of the exes, right? The so-called the in-laws, the ex-in-laws, the other, the not so good half of it. So the conversation revolve around that, and of course we have already built in certain tools, right? Certain structures to help this family navigate through that. However, on the other hand, the family successor, right, which is the eldest son, that's actually going through this. On the individual front, I have a chance to actually engage him on the personal front. He's telling me that actually he's very stressed. He couldn't sleep well, he couldn't eat well. Reason being that he's going through the divorce, the legal battles for custody of this child, right? Because they have a child, and and at the same time, he still has to ensure that he manages the family business, being the successor, right, the next in line, being able to step up to the expectations, right, forming a strain actually on himself and his parents, right, because the his ex-spouse is on the other side of the part of the family. Now he got to deal with internally his family. So I think one of the assumptions that we should not try to make is that the successor is always going to follow, right, the first generation or the founder's wishes. Do have a chance to allow, right, the successor to actually express his views, express his emotions as well, right? Because the emotion side of things is we do not want to go into a space whereby it gets even messier with the divorce happening and also with the parent and child dynamics, right? So this is something that we also need to address.
I see. And Peter, to add to that?
I think Cass brought up quite a very different scenario.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly what we do with many of the discussions with our client, because it's not only me and the client. Usually it's with the banker, sometimes with the trust advisor, and also with ourselves and the client. So we run through what we call scenario. What if my children continue to live in Australia? What's the impact? What if they move back to live with me? What is the impact? Right? What if I want to give it to my grandson? I want to skip the generation. Yeah. What if I want to give it to someone that I love? This particular part of my asset.
Yes.
Can we do something? I want privacy. I don't want others to know. Can we arrange in certain way? All these are real discussions, right? And private.
Yes.
Right. So that's why we work in the space with private clients, and also we work in the space of high net worth. The discussions is confined to what we have in the discussion. So it's very, very interesting. I love this job. And I love what we do. Right. I mean, we are providing real solutions to real life problems.
Yes.
And imagine the client sitting a whole night trying to think about how to do, what to do. But having expressed himself, we as consultants, as professionals in the marketplace, and with his bankers and with his trust advisors, we can craft a solution and straight away become I wouldn't say a perfect. It is just a solution to be able to integrate all his concerns and fears to achieve his objective. That's all. And end of the day, this is not final.
Yes.
It's a yearly discussion, right?
True.
So we have an annual review program in Grandtag where we meet a client, we talk through again, this objective that you set aside, any change? Is your children still staying with you, or has moved on or married? So such discussion evolve a little twigging to the beneficiary, or little twigging of wanting to split the policy. So such arrangement can be done, and the policy itself, and need not at death.
True.
Right. So some tools of estate planning is will, but that's only at death.
Yes.
What if before that?
Yep.
What if I am mentally incapacitated?
Mm.
Can I do something? Yeah. It's a policy frozen. Is my account frozen, and my children will not be able to go to the bank and say that, my dad is in the hospital now. He's not able to write, not able to speak.
Yes.
Can I draw the money? The fact is no. The bank would not allow that. But in the policy itself, nowadays some of the program have what we call a mental incapacity option.
Yeah.
Then it opens a different thing. It's like a LPA, what we call a limited power attorney. I appoint my son to be able to access the policy. That changed the whole dynamics of planning, right? Yeah, so no longer only talking about death.
So
We
it's
don't
very
talk only, we talk about situations now already.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So in this situation, what we are trying to tell our audience is that being proactive rather than being reactive, we have to start the conversation now.
Yeah.
And we come in with our passion to go beyond, because we even if everything is already in place,
Yeah.
we revisit them and see, have you had a change of heart? Thank you, Cass, and thank you, Peter. Very
Right.
insightful discussion that we had today. And thank you to all our listeners for joining us in this episode of the Grandtag podcast, Conversations on Wealth and Legacy. In case you missed it, we had a conversation with Cass and Peter in our previous episode on the topic of intergenerational conversations, where we covered how each generation play a key role in creating lasting legacies. This is Barbara signing off, and we look forward to having you with us in all our future episodes. Of the Grandtag podcast, Conversations on Wealth and Legacy.